already being recorded. Okay, great. So let's go here. Okay. Welcome, everybody. My name is Dr. Divi. Thank you so much for being here. I'm super excited you're here. Let's take a minute to just close our eyes. And let's just settle into our breathing. Take a long breath in. And take a slow breath out. Take a deep breath in. And a quiet breath out. Let's just take a few slow breaths in. And long, slow breaths out. See if you can soften your shoulders a bit. Soften your forehead a bit. And on every exhale, allow your body the permission to settle into your support. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Now, for some of you, this might be a new concept, and I'll explain it later if we have time. I've invited in all of your guides, your angels, your divine support team. So if you know what that means, please invite your own in on your own. And don't worry if you don't know what it means. Bring in all the energies of love to guide us through this workshop. I'd also like you to imagine that each of us, regardless of what part of the world we originate from, are all connected. By the law of one, you are me and I am you. Let's take a few breaths into that. Nice. At your own pace, wiggle your fingers, roll your shoulders, stretch your arms, and go ahead and open your eyes. Thank you all for being here. Like I said, I have a PowerPoint. I think you guys can see that. It says Pain Workshop. So let us just get going. It's a big topic, so I'm just going to dive in. We've got a lot of mini meditations, a lot of breaks as I do this. A couple of things about how I teach is I love it being interactive. So we'll use the chat box. You'll unmute yourself. You'll share out loud. And I picked a really deep topic. I'm teaching this twice. I'm doing the online version now. In a couple hours, I'm teaching it live here in my office. So this is going to warm me up for that. So let's have some fun today. So a bit about me, really briefly. My name is Dr. Divi, family doctor, turned intuitive coach. I've been an intuitive coach for about 17 years. I teach intuition. I do lots of kind of fun things. I run an intuitive business. And now I've moved into spiritual teaching. So a bit more about me when it comes to pain. When I was 28, I won't tell you how old I am, I dropped to my knees in chronic pain. I've been working as a family doctor at that point for about 3 or 4 years, and literally woke up one day feeling like I was crippled. But you know how chronic pain works. If anyone here has it, you have a little shoulder ache, then you have a little hip ache, and the next thing you know, you can't walk. And I went on a long, convoluted journey, which I won't go into in details. I have a TEDx talk on there. But I ended up in a yoga room, became a yoga teacher, opened yoga studios. And when I would practice yoga 4, 5, 6 days a week, I would keep the pain away. But then we got rid of the yoga businesses. Won't go into why that either. Came back into a normal life here in Vancouver, and the pain came back. So I had to really sit with what the thought was, or what else I could do for the pain. And that's been the journey. And I'm going to teach a lot about what you can do outside of yoga, rolling your leg, all of those kinds of things to help. So a little briefly about me. How the workshop is set up. As I said before, it's being recorded hopefully with just my face. You all are not being recorded. Because of the law of one, vulnerability and so on, I record it that way. But by the law of one, in order for us to really get something out of my workshops, the more vulnerable you can be, the easier it's going to be for you. And the law of one means if Rachel shares something, that impacts Angie. If Angie shares something, that impacts Divi. So by the law of one, if you can see yourself and everybody else, you'll get a lot out of this. The last thing is your presence. We have a billion distractions, from our phones to our iPads to you name it, we have distractions. So maybe just for the next hour, hour and a half, see if you can put on silent, see if you can put into the other room, just for yourself, just for yourself. Okay. So let's take a moment. Let's use the chat box. Tell me where you're from. Tell me what you want from today. Tell me what prompted you to do this. And maybe if you're brave, put your video on. So let's give you guys a minute. Let's share where you're from, what brought you here, what you want out of today. And for the really brave souls, about half a dozen of you guys, 10 of you had your things on. We're from North Carolina. Amazing, Sarah. Great to have you. Where else are you guys from? And what do you guys want from today? Let's see what I got here. I'm not going to be able to read all of this. Trip you want from the United States. I'm not sure what that means. Okay. So West Vancouver. Thank you, Susan. Help with chronic pain. Sacramento. Why are you at there? Okay, I'm going to ignore those ones. Chicago, Illinois. Amazing. Chronic pain. Thank you, Sarah. All right. We got Texas, Kelowna. Amazing. We're all over the place. North Vancouver. Most of you want to know how to deal with chronic pain. That I can help you with. Severe scoliosis. Amazing. Vaccines. Amazing. Okay, good. I can help with this. Amazing. Just so that gives me a sense. All right, let's dive in. I've got lots of slides. Let's dive in. Okay. So let's do a grounding meditation. Go and close your eyes. Once your eyes close, if you can, put your feet on the floor. If you can, relax your shoulders down to your knees. If you can, place one of the hands on your belly button. And together, let's take an exhale. And inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breathing. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep that low, slow flow of breath in and out, deeply and slowly, calmly and easily. Just keep breathing. Just keep breathing. With your eyes closed, soften your shoulders down towards your hips. Let's do a few countings of the breath. So exhale together and inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can make your breath slower or longer to the count of 6 or 8, or shorter to the count of 3. But try to make them deep and expansive. And try, if you can, to focus on the pause between the inhales and exhales. Nice work. Take 3 or 4 more breaths. And these last few breaths, with your feet on the floor, touching Mother Earth. I want you to imagine roots from the bottom of your feet going into the middle of the earth. And all fear, past, future, let it leave the roots. Now imagine Mother Earth transmutes them into love. Let the love come up into the roots, up into your feet, up your legs, into your hips, into your body. 1 or 2 more breaths. And then start to come back. Nice work. And maybe share in the chat box how you are as we dive in today. How are you feeling after that meditation? And just use the chat box. Agitated, relaxed, easy. How are you feeling? Calm, open, settled, stable. Beautiful. Okay. Invigorated. I'll take that tip. Okay. Amazing. Okay. So the current approach to pain essentially is let's get rid of this pain. We all know that. And that's not bad. We have medications out there. We have rollers. We have massage pumpers. We have all kinds of things, chiropractors, physios. And notice how I said there's no judgment to any of it. But very little of that approach is looking at the root cause of the pain. That's why you're here. Okay. To get clear, the root cause is not the car accident. If you have shoulder pain, it's not how you held your purse. It's not the sport you played, maybe rugby, football, tennis, gymnastics. But it's a thought. And that's what we're going to be working on today. Okay. So Louise Hay said, and some of you may know who she is. She's quite well known in the work I do. She said, the body, like everything else in life, is a mirror of your inner thoughts and beliefs. Every cell responds to every single thought you think. Use the chat box, please. What do you think of that? How much do you believe it? Give me a percentage. 2%. Screw you, Louise Hay. Or yeah, I'm down, Louise. I'm like 100%. What do you guys got? How much do you believe that? I believe that 100. Okay, totally. I got lots of totallys. So we'll take that as 100. 100. Amazing. Okay, that helps a lot. Just so I know where you're coming from. Okay. I believe it, but it seems like a mix. Okay, great. Thanks, Andrea. So we'll give you guys a few other seconds. How much do you believe it? Just a self-reflection. If you put 10%, will not offend me. I just need to know where you're at. Don't actually need to know. But we got 75. Thank you, Sarah. What are the numbers? This is self-reflection. What do you guys got? How much do you believe it? 90? Amazing. 95? Amazing. 100? Okay, good. Again, it's not right or wrong. And kind of like Sarah said, it might be, believe it 50, 60, 70, then it gets up and up. Eric, 99.99. Perfect. Not right or wrong. Good. Okay, cool. The cause of pain from an energetic perspective is often thought to be pain is frozen energy or a signal that something is blocked. From a thought perspective, it's a thought that guilt, shame, or fear are stuck in the body. Okay? And so a lot of you seem to agree. All health, all healing is a release from fear. We're going to spend a moment right now journaling from a body part. So go ahead and close your eyes. Lots of experiential stuff today, just so you guys know. Go ahead and close your eyes. And I want you to go to the part of the body that is aching a bit. It might be your lower back. It might be your stomach. It might be your hand. It might be your wrist. And what you may or may not know, everything can talk. My hair can talk. My fingers can talk. Everything has communication. If you wish, you could put your hand on that body part that's a bit sore. and ask it questions. So I want you to begin with your eyes closed and just say, ask it, what are you trying to tell me? What is it I need to know? What is the emotion that you've got inside? What is the thought or emotion you're holding on to? Just take about 5 breaths as you do that. Don't rush it, just 5 or 10 breaths. Really good. A few more breaths, please. Nice. And when you're ready, start to come back. Let's use the chat box. What did the body part say to you? And if it's easier for you to unmute yourself, just please let me know and unmute yourself and we'll hear from you. And if you didn't get anything, that's cool. Don't make yourself wrong. Okay, please don't make yourself wrong. Let's hear from a few of you. What did it say? And again, you can unmute yourself or just share in the chat box. What did you guys get? Beautiful, Alice. Fear and sadness. What else we got? Shoulders that I've been working on, but it's anger. Beautiful, Rachel. Great. Fear of failure. Sadness and regrets. Great. Said don't worry, score about what others think you're forgiven. Gorgeous, Andrea. Fear holding on. A lot of sadness. Go ahead, Sarah.
The pain that I'm feeling today is like between my shoulder blades and kind of coming up to my neck. And the first thought I had was, I'm here to protect you. Yeah. So, and
Amazing.
then kind of an image of like almost encasing my heart.
Amazing. Yeah, I get it. We're going to be working on defenses, so we'll get there. I love that. Thanks, Sarah. No response, Debbie. That's normal. Don't worry about it. And Carolyn said it's helped. Perfect. Go for it, Angie.
Yeah, the only thing I got was like I'm feeling right now, and usually in the morning, hip pain in my left hip. And the only thing I get is outside sources, like, oh, I need a new bed. My bed is not right, or I've bent down the wrong way. And when I get up, there's a real pain. But I didn't get anything from the hip telling me something. Either that or I'm not open enough to listen to it. That's kind of, I don't want.
Oh, that's perfect. That's absolutely beautiful, right? And guys, I'm teaching you a couple different techniques today to get access to information. And like Angie said, and I think there's another person who said they didn't get anything. No big deal. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We're going to learn lots of different techniques. So thank you, Angie. Thank you, Sarah. All right, so we got lots of techniques. So the body parts can talk to you. And one little tip, wrist, elbows, they always come from shoulders. Hips, ankles, knees, calves, that always goes to hips. Okay, so if you can't get anything from your knees, go to your hips. Okay, everything that's distal is proximal. Got it? So sometimes my elbow hurts after I play pickleball, so I go right to my shoulder. Got it? So you want to ask the body parts that are near, and if you don't get anything, don't worry about it. We've got other techniques. Okay. And even if you know what it's saying, you often don't know what to do about it. And we're going to be spending some time about that today. Okay. Yeah, like go to a joint. Exactly. Exactly. All right. So all healing is a relief from fear. One technique is to talk to your body part and start journaling. Sometimes, and I did it really quick today because I've got a lot of slides. What's much more helpful, it's called morning pages. You might have heard of it from The Artist's Way. And you sit in the morning, you get 2 colors of pen, and one color is you asking the question, and the other color is the body part talking to you. And if you sit there quietly over your tea or coffee or water in the morning, you might get more responses than you actually realize. And if you just be open to what it wants to say and keep talking to it, it's like an investigative reporter, right? What do you want me to know? Where did you start from? What are you saying to me? It's a really great technique. Morning is the best time, just so you know to do that. Okay. One technique. Okay. So we're going to try this next and see what happens. So again, close your eyes. And I apologize, guys. I have a lot packed in here, so it might seem like I'm jumping, but I really want to get to the second half of the class. Go ahead and close your eyes. Once your eyes close, soften your shoulders down. Just take a long breath in and a slow breath out. Take a deep breath in and a quiet breath out. Just breathe. I invite you to go to the body part that's aching right now. Stomach, shoulders back. And do your best not to think. I invite you to see your body not as a solid entity, but I invite you to see your body as molecules that are dancing and moving. Great. And now wherever that stuck energy is, focus closely on those molecules. And you could imagine a song in your mind's eye. And take this song into the molecules and see if they will dance a bit for you. See if they will separate a bit for you. And just keep breathing. Now take the power of breath into those molecules and see if you can separate them more. Beautiful. And lastly, start to shine light in there. So you could almost imagine a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful ball of light shining, separating those molecules apart. And breathe. Notice if the mind is paying attention to the pain cues or if the mind can focus exclusively on the light and the molecules. Good. And stay here for about 6 or 7 breaths. Deep, slow belly breaths. Nice work. And then when you're ready, start to wiggle your fingers, stretch your arms, and start to return to the room. Breathe deeper. Once you come back, let's use the chat box and just share how that was, please. How was that mini exercise? What did you notice? What did you not notice? How was it? Just share in the chat box. Eye-opening to what's going on. Yeah. Did you guys notice? As soon as I saw them dancing, the pain started to release. It made me smile. Yeah. Put a song in there, like put the happy song, put whatever song you want. Right. So just little techniques that we have, the more the better. Relaxing. Beautiful, Adrian. Beautiful. My pain is free to go away. I set it free. Some pain release. Yeah. Okay. Let's go through a couple pointers as to why these little meditations work. The biggest is that you're in the now. Okay. I'm really spending, like, the reason I don't think I'm rushing. I want to get through this initial stuff. The good stuff comes next, just so you know. In Divi's eyes, the good stuff comes next. But there's lots of little techniques like this. But some of the keys are being in the now, and then noticing if part of the mind is going, is it gone yet? Is it gone? Is it gone? Is it gone? And that's part of what the ego does. Well, you did it right. You did it wrong. And that's not in the now, obviously. So there's a ton of those techniques out there on the internet. And I just want to shine the light on that one. If you've been following my work for a while, you know that I'm a teacher of the Course Miracles. And so a lot of people turn to the Course because it's called Course of Miracles, because they want a miracle and healing. And that's where we're going to go next. So that first half of the class was really just some preamble, setting the stage. And now we're going to have more fun. At least for me, it's more fun for me. Okay. So Wayne Dyer used to say, healing is not, what did he say? Healing is not just putting a plaster over your pain. Healing is recognizing your connection to spirit and remembering you are whole. Healing is recognizing your connection to spirit and recognizing you are whole. Let's use the chat box and let me know how that's landing. Do you believe that? Do you not believe that? 5%, 10%? It's BS. I'll buy it. I want the plaster over the pain. What do you guys got? I believe that. Okay, cool. Also got 100%. Okay, cool. Yeah. Wayne Dyer needs the stuff. Big work for me right now. Spirit is where I'm joyful. Nice, Rosemary. Anyone else believe that? Give you guys a second. Feels true. Thanks, Caroline. Amazing. Okay. So this is where we're spending the rest of the class, is on this type of work, okay? 5% now, 80. Amazing, Rachel. I love that. Okay, great. All right. So this is my favorite stuff now. Okay, now I get to have more fun. So Course in Miracles, we're going to spend a few minutes on definitions, because this is important before I get to the next part of the class. Course in Miracles says that you are born of spirit and born of love. You're born of an infinite consciousness of the divine. I'm not a small little body walking around the world. I only see a body because the particles are slowed down. My eyes see it because the particles are slowed down, that I can see my physical body. But the Course teaches that I'm not a body. We're going to get into that in a few minutes here. The Course has two sayings, okay? That there is something called the ego, and then there's something called spirit. Okay, two separate words. Spirit, I don't need to define that. The spirit is the part of you that is unconditional love. Spirit is the part of you that's only present. Sorry, I shouldn't say it. Don't say it that way. You'll know of spirit's presence when you're in the now. Spirit's always there. When you're driving to work and rushing and taking care of your kids, you're not aware of spirit's presence. You know spirit's presence when you're in the now. The example I often use, I used in a class I taught yesterday. Do you remember the first time you saw a waterfall and you sat in front of it? Maybe your mind stopped for a split second. Your jaw might have hit the floor. The first time you went to the Grand Canyon. Those awe-inspiring moments is when you're connected to spirit. So it's like how I would describe it, because we need words as humans. It's stillness. It's almost like the space of awe. And the closest emotion we can get to is the space of unconditional love. Okay. Space where you get goosebumps. Tracking? You guys are there with me? Is that landing? So I know, is that tracking? Okay, thanks, Deborah. Okay, cool. Thanks, Adrienne. Okay, here's the deal, guys. That's who you are. You're not these clunky bodies walking around the world going like this. That's who you are. And if you've never been to my workshops before, sometimes I swear, so just, have a bit of a foul potty mouth, but that's who you are. Now that's what the Course describes as spirit. And then we have another part of us called the ego. The ego is not the party that's out there like, driving a Porsche. The ego is the part of you that simply forgot you were spirit. I have a couple of YouTubes out there on this, but the other definition of the ego that I really, really like is the mental habit of identifying and labeling. The mental habit of identifying and labeling. And when you sit with that just for 10, 20, 30 seconds, you might say, excuse my language, when the F am I never not mental habit of identifying, right? When am I not identifying, labeling? When you're at a waterfall, when you're in the Grand Canyon, right? But the whole theory is that you can be in that place of spirit. More often, we're going to get into that as we get going here. But those are two definitions. So we got spirit, we got ego. Cool? Okay. So we're going to go a little bit deeper. So sometimes in my teaching, I use the word God. God is a word I don't love to use because it brings up a lot of for people. Sarah, I'm going to hold off on questions right now if you're okay with that, because I really want to get to this core stuff. The ego is the part of you that forgot you were spirit. Cool? And as we recognize spirit is who I truly am, I use my hands to teach, so hopefully you can see me. I come in as a pure essence of spirit. You guys are with me? That's who you are to your purity. But then the teachings teach that when the ego was formed, the ego said there's a one line in both the Gita, Mahabharata, Course in Miracles. A lot of spiritual texts have this in there. There was one crazy thought that said, I wonder what it would be like to be separate from my creator. Watch how my hand does this. I wonder what it would be like to be separate from my creator. Here I am in my creator energy, my God self, the divine, and now I'm separate. In that separation was formed the ego. Got it? And the ego then created this body, and the ego then essentially created this entire world. And the work I teach is about the mind. Like I said to you guys, I practiced yoga 4 to 6 days a week, if not more, to stay out of pain. And then I couldn't do that at a certain point in my life. So guess where I had to work? Here, my mind. Even though my mind isn't here, I pointed here. But when you work with the mind, you can heal the body. And most of you have heard that. But how do you work with the mind? The spirit and ego concept is the first you need to get. So again, God here, spirit, the divine, come into a body, but you still have spirit in you. And now is the formation of ego. Ego is the mental habit of identifying. Ego is the separation from the truth of who you are. I still got you guys got? Now, in that separation, the primary emotion that was formed was guilt. And you want to put that in capital letters. Guilt is the only reason we have pain. Okay? Now, let's go a little bit deeper. When I think I'm not good enough, that's a thought of guilt. When I'm scared that I don't have enough money, believe it or don't, that's a thought of guilt. Because if I believe I'm the badass, super baby, good rockin' divine, that's who I am. I'm like, I don't have enough money. That is a guilt. Got it? Because I am now separate. So in a slide later on, I talk about how you're either in love or in fear, guilt. But guilt is the origin of all illness. And if you only get one thing from ever meeting me today, that's the one thing I want to get. And there's a lot of women and men on the call. And guilt runs the show, right? Scale of 1 to 100. Just be honest. Be completely honest, please. How much does guilt run the mind? Use the chat box. Percentage. 50%, 60, good day 10, bad day 90. What would you guys say? How much does guilt run you? How do you feel guilty about sneezing? We got an 85, we got a 99, we got 65. Amazing. Thank you for your honesty. Okay, we got 80. Amazing, Heather. 75. So that number should tell you your first lead in as to what's going on. Cool? Because I want you to understand the energy we call God, first off, does not see your bodies at all. secondly, holds no guilt. So let's go a bit deeper. Okay. So that's some definitions as we get started here today. This is my favorite part of the class. So that's just the starter. Okay. So guilt is the root of all emotions that are not of love. Okay. Let's go a little bit deeper for some more definitions. Now we're going to define the word miracle. Everyone loves the word miracle. Everyone loves that. And people think a miracle is a shift in pain. Amazing. If you ever study the course, which I know a lot of people won't do, which I respect, miracle is a shift in perception from fear to love. It also says it's no harder to have a small miracle or a big miracle. It's not harder to get somebody from chronic infertility to having a baby, or harder to heal stage 3 cancer, or harder to heal shoulder pain. There's no hierarchy of miracles. Okay. And it also says if miracles are not happening, something wrong is happening. Okay. So a lot of the work I teach is about how to create yourself more miracle-minded. And essentially the work I do is about shifting from fear to love. And that shift in perception is the creation of a miracle. And this is a slide I've got later on, but I'm gonna steal from it later. A lot of people come to me because they want to get out of pain, they want to fix their relationship, they want to, get their health back. And here's my caveat that I'm going to tell you. You have to want the shift in perception of your mind more than anything. That has to be first and foremost. But if you're focused on the pain, then the pain will always be outside your fingertips. Say it again. You have to want the shift in perception first and foremost. If anyone was, I did this podcast yesterday of a woman who runs a company called The Spiritual Debate. How they listened to it. It was an interesting podcast. Feel free to listen to it if you want. Anyways, one thing I said to her, and it's a debate, right? She doesn't agree with my opinions. Totally fine. Cool. No big deal. I said to her, she was talking about healing cancer, and I'm gonna bring in something a little bit different here in a second. I said to her, if I was dying of cancer, sure, I'd want the cancer to go away. But if the cancer wasn't going away, I would want peace in my mind above and beyond all else. And that's the work I teach. If you can come to me saying, Divi, I want peace, I know 1,000% I can get you that. Not a question. And if you have peace, your pain will go. But if you cannot be attached to the pain and make the peace primary, by cause and effect, the pain will go. But you have to let go of the attachment. I know I said that 3 or 4 times, but that's a really important thing. Let's go back into the slides. Okay. All right, so that's the definition of miracle. Now we're going to have some more fun. Let's go a bit deeper. The ego. Okay, so we talked about the ego. Okay, and I'm just going to describe, this is a big, thick slide, so bear with me. The ego or the body is proof that I'm separate from God. Because look, I'm standing here all by myself in this office in Vancouver. There's no God in this room. Look, see, look, no God, no God. Until I connect with the divine energy of essence. So the ego is proof of separation, that you're separate from God. And the mind is what you have to work on to reconnect it. Pain, sickness, and aging and death reinforce the illusion that we're vulnerable and limited. This is like understanding that the body, sorry, I should back up. I apologize, guys. The body has 2 purposes. This is the body's purpose from the ego's point of view. And I have another slide about what the body's purpose is from spirit's point of view. The body proves that I'm separate. I know where God is. The body says, oh, you're going to get old. You're going to get sick, you little sucker. You're going to die. You're going to get hurt. Getting a car accident is going to happen. The body's purpose from the ego standpoint is separation and making me vulnerable. So again, the body's purpose from the ego's perspective is separation. The other purpose from the ego's perspective of the body is to make me feel guilty and shameful and fearful. The ego's perspective is to keep the body in fear and guilt. And lastly, there's more than just this. but for this slide. The body's purpose from the ego is attack and defense. So I've got to keep my body safe, and I'm going to defend it to keep it safe. So I'm going to pause there. That was a very thick slide. I'm going to pause there for a quick second. So the body has many purposes, okay? Sarah, I'm going to leave that question for a while. Just bear with me. Please just bear with me, because it's a very different approach today. So bear with me, okay? Just stay with me. Stay with me. I love you. Stay with me, okay? So the body has different purposes, okay? From the ego's perspective, it's like you're alone, you're screwed, you're going to get hurt. You got to defend yourself. Deborah's beautiful, you're not. Anyone relate to this? So that's the purpose of the body from the ego perspective. And the purpose of the body from the ego perspective is to keep guilt alive. Got it? Because if you did not see yourself as a body, the chance of you feeling guilt are a lot less. Guilt is even the idea. How many of us struggle with body image issues? Okay, hands up. Put yes in the chat box if you do. Woman or man? You got body image issues? Okay, cool. We got a couple yeses. Okay. So how is the ego using that? The ego is like, Andrea, your body's not good. Jesus, we come from spirit. We come from the divine. We come from do you see that that's a thought of guilt? This tracking? I'll make sure this is tracking. So if it's a thought of guilt, the ego is saying, oh, look at your body, not any good. And so it's using the body for guilt. Got it? So the ego is the mental chatter that says there's something wrong and to keep separation alive. Got it? And so when the ego does that, it talks about your body. If you didn't perceive yourself as a body, you wouldn't have body image issues, correct? It's actually kind of funny, right? If you actually saw yourself as a spirit, you'd be like, oh, you got to get rid of that role. I don't know, that role, I don't know, right? You have to understand the ego uses the body to go, you're doing it wrong, okay? So you have to understand that the ego is the only reason we get sick because it's formulation of guilt. Second thing you need to understand is that the ego will nonstop use your body to attack you. And the last piece I want to bring up before I go to spirit, and guys, I do apologize if this is a bit dense, but I really wanted to hit this pain stuff as best as I could. So I'm not losing you, right? I still have you guys. Still got you, Shamir? Okay, good. Okay, cool. You're still with me. The thing you want to understand, and I know the reason I asked where you guys are from was personally curiosity, but also for you to understand that we're also so trained that we have to keep this body safe. Turn on the news. You and I both know, especially the older people in the class today, my body is going to be on an urn and my son's mantle within the next 50 years. Straight up. This body is not going to last that. It's got a time click. Not that I don't have a clock ticking, don't worry.
But crap, citric acid.
We want to understand, I'm sorry, can you, who is that? Sorry. Okay, I'll keep going. You want to understand that there's so much the ego thinks to keep the body safe. Got it? And it could be attacked and it could be hurt. And that way of thinking actually perpetuates pain. Okay. Use the chat box. I want to make sure I still have you guys. Is this tracking? Use the chat box. Say, yes, it's landing. No, it's not. And before I keep going, okay, we got some Heathers. Yes. Thanks, Rosemary. Okay. Okay, great. Great, Alba. Great. Okay, great. I just want to make sure I've got you. Okay. And you can actually see how deep-seated those thoughts of the fear of attack are. I'm getting on a plane. What if something happens to me? Oh no, oh no, oh no. I had a client in the other day and she's told me this whole story about how she was so busy protecting her body from safety when she entered this new marriage. And then in the new marriage, he still was a friend with the ex. And there was this whole story. And I was like, wow, keeping the body safe. Got it? Okay if I keep going? I got you guys still? The body's purpose from the ego, safety, keep you separate from God, and keep you scared, basically. Okay. Now let's go to the purpose of the body from the spirit's perspective. And the reason this is important to understand is because we have to upend how we're thinking about the body. Okay. So the body is the ego's chosen home. You need to understand that. In order to heal your body from pain, you cannot do it through the ego. Got it? So what is the body's purpose from Holy Spirit? Some of you may have heard of these concepts, but Spirit uses the body to extend love, forgiveness, and healing. For the Spirit, the body is neutral. It's not a prison. For Spirit, the body is a classroom for forgiveness. The body is telling you when your thoughts are fearful or guilt, because that's when I get tension or pain. The body is just here to tell me what my mind is doing. From Holy Spirit's perspective, the body is a symbol of innocence. That the body can be used by Spirit to demonstrate that separation is not real. And this slide is a majority of what I teach people how to do to move from the ego to Spirit. The body is neutral, okay? And I just need to teach a few of the things that they're telling me to teach. The body can't create on its own. You need to get that. Because don't forget, I spent years as a physician. And in medicine, we're like, your body is doing this to you. And you're like, huh? My body is attacking me? Your body cannot create. Your body doesn't do anything to it. The body is neutral. As you can tell, I get very excited about this topic. The body is neutral. The body is responding to your thoughts. So if you think your body is getting mad at you, the body is not doing that. It's simply responding to the massive form of thoughts you're giving it. That's all it's doing. The body is here in this moment to tell you only one thing. Are you listening to Spirit or are you listening to the ego? Are you in a waterfall moment, in the right now connected to God? Or are you trying to figure out where your money for your bills are going to come from? That's why the body is here. As souls, and a lot of people who come to my work, we're obviously pretty spiritual wackos. I'm joking. I joke when I say that. We're all spiritual weirdos. I say that with love. And we all kind of get the concept that our body, that we're going to leave this body and then we're going to come back. We all get that kind of concept. And the whole idea is an evolution of the spirit and of the mind. Cool? So I'm constantly growing and evolving and growing the concept of my mind and spirit. What would it be like to walk around all day, every day and go, Angie, you're gorgeous. To look at Heather and say, Heather, you're the light of the world. To look at Rosemary, wherever she's sitting, and it's so beautiful to go, I am so blessed to know you. To look at Rachel and say, you are love expressed in a gorgeous body. Like, how would your body respond if you actually thought that thought all the time? You go to Hornby and hang out all the time. Your body would respond completely differently. And what I just did in those 10 seconds, I went to the cameras that I could see. See, if the ego's talking, it would go, oh, now I'm looking at other people. Shamara, you're way too pretty. Sarah, you're way too smart. Do you see what the ego's doing? Ass, you're just like drop dead gorgeous. Do you see how? And it's like comparing you to me. Mm-hmm. When I do that, it's a comparison. But do you see how a minute ago, now I'm going to do for Adrienne, it's like, God, you're such a wise soul. That's what Spirit's saying to you. Deborah, you're exactly where you're meant to be. And when you listen to Spirit, the body. So I'm going to time out for a quick second. Use the chat box. Tell me if this is landing, if I still have you, because I'm going to go deeper now. I want to make sure I've still got you guys. Use the chat box. You're with me. You're not with me. You got me. You've lost me. We're good. Still got me. Thank you, Alba. Give you guys a second. Still here. Still here. Good, good, good. Okay, great. Amazing. Thanks, Rosemary. Awesome. Okay, let's go deeper. Okay, so. Course Miracle says, the quote, the body is merely a means by which God's Son returns to sanity. Though it would enslave him, it is turned to serve the freedom of his will. The body is how we return to sanity. All healing is essentially the release from fear. Take a breath with that. All healing is essentially the release from fear. Okay. I'm not going to ask because I just asked you this, guys, so I'm going to drop that. Okay. Now we're going to jump into my next favorite topic, is forgiveness. Now, this topic is a thick topic, so I don't expect you guys to get it all right now. And, forgiveness is a gradual process, never ends. But what is forgiveness? Forgiveness is the tool that releases guilt and frees the body. Pain always comes from holding on to a story. Miracle is that shift in perception when we see it differently. So this next part of the class, we're going to be talking about forgiveness. And if you don't know, I'm a forgiveness junkie, okay? So, and if you can tell, it took me close to an hour to get to this part of the class, mostly because I have to work through the ego's resistance. Got it? So let's dive into adopting forgiveness. Forgiveness is not, I forgive you, Dad, for not being there for me when I was little. Forgiveness is the release of a thought. It's going to that place before the thought existed. It's going to the place where we are whole without that thought. So let's go to that example of Daddy, you hurt me. So forgiveness is not, Daddy, I forgive you, you hurt me, you controlled my life. Forgiveness is forgiving the thought that I was controlled. Because the spirit in me was never touched. Take a breath with that. It's a very different concept. And don't be surprised if the ego is going, screw this, screw that, this is bullshit. Dad did control me. I'll repeat it, sure, I'll repeat it. How can I say that? Because that's me. I did that for you. Screw this. Dad did control me. I had to become a doctor so young. Okay. So forgiveness is not, in this example, I forgive you, Dad, for controlling me. Or I forgive you, Dad, for hitting me. That's not what forgiveness is. Forgiveness is a release of the thought that I was ever controlled. Because the soul in me was never touched. I made the joke, and this because I'm talking about myself right now. I argued with that for years. Yeah, Dad did control me. I had to become a doctor when I was 20. Like, Jesus, of course I was controlled. And the more, that was the ego arguing. When I really sat with Spirit, she said to me, I was always here. You were never touched. Take a breath with that one. So forgiveness is a very deep concept. My joke. The ego does not want it. The ego does Hail Marys before you go there. Because it wants to convince you of a different story. It wants to convince you that you're screwed up. It wants to convince you that something bad happened. And I don't expect you all to get this right away. There's people like Heather and a few other people on this call, Angie, that I've known for years. And they're, and Rachel, who I've known for a while. It's layers. It's layers and layers and layers and layers. And I'm going to go into a few more slides on forgiveness. But it's a gradual thing. And it happens the more often you do it and revisit it. But we have help here. Okay. And like Sarah said, it's not even letting go of the story, but it's rewriting the story. And the ego wants to hold on to that story. Okay? So the people who have the biggest trouble with this are people like academics, people who study a lot, people who think a lot. Okay. We have the biggest trouble with this, but we have help. And we're going to get to that in a slide. So give me 20 seconds while I open my share box again. Okay. So again, forgiveness is release of thought. It's going to that place before the thought even existed. And it's going to that place that we are whole without that thought. Okay. Here's a few tricks with the thoughts. Because we have spirit. I need to say this 20,000 times. I'm not a body separated from God or spirit. Spirit is with me. There's a couple of tricks here. So you can look at spirit and say, I need a little bit of willingness. I really want some help here. So we have to ask ourselves, am I willing to see this differently? What would love have me do? Am I willing, even just a little bit of willingness to get help with this thought? Why am I so attached to this thought? Am I willing to release it? Those are just a few that I came up with, but there's like a million of them. Okay, maybe not a million, but the little willingness is actually the key, because I really want you guys to get, and if you've ever see me teach intuition, you have to understand, here's God, Holy Spirit, often called the Divine Mother, and the human is here. Okay, Holy Spirit is also known as the Divine Mother, at least in my world. God, Holy Spirit, human. Holy Spirit, the Divine Mother, sees each of us in our eternal innocence. I'm about to cry, so if I cry, don't make anything of it. She knows that the stories that you've got in your head are complete lies. And she asks for us to turn to her. But we, by free will, this is free will. People think free will is I can go up and go to Bali. That's not free will. Free will is I can stay in my shitty thoughts or go to spirit and say help. That's free will. And it takes a little bit of willingness to say, I want to see this differently. And the Divine Mother is standing right there going, here's a different thought. But we have to be willing to drop it. We have to say, why am I so attached to it? And the more you dig into why you're attached to it, you'll discover things like, oh, that thought keeps me safe. That explains my life. That's the story. Da, 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 da. We're not going to get into that trajectory right now. But we have to understand that we have access to spirit that is here 24/7. I ain't special. I'm a professional intuitive. I'm not special. Each of you are intuitive. I just do this for a living. That's it. Each of us are intuitive. Each of us have access to her. There's more slides coming. Give me a sec here. So we need a little bit of willingness, and we want to ask ourselves, what would love have me do right now? I just went through this. The God, Spirit, the Creator, those thoughts are within us. Every thought of love, peace, joy is within us. Thoughts do not leave their source. For those of you that are mothers or fathers on the call, you know when you look at your kid when they're like 5 years old, 10 years old, 20, and you're like, oh, she gets that from me. Oh, he gets that from his father. That should show you thoughts do not leave their source. Our Creator's thoughts are within us. And we actually access our Creator's thoughts when we slow down and are willing to listen. Oh, I already said this. Thoughts never leave their source. Cool. Okay. And I said this earlier. We have to want to heal the thought first and foremost without any attachment to the body. When I work with clients who have money issues, it's the same thing. You have to want to heal the thought that's blocking the money first, and that only. And the money will move, but you have to focus on the thought first and foremost. Okay, we're gonna do a process. So let's close our eyes. And once the eyes close, just take a few breaths in and out. Because you all said that you have, not all of you, but a lot of you said that you have body image issues. It means that all of us have this thought of not feeling good enough. So we're going to work on that thought for this process. So with your eyes closed, just settle into your body. And take a long breath in and a slow breath out. take a deep breath in and a quiet breath out. Just keep breathing. Eyes closed, breathing normal. With your eyes closed, take yourself into a beautiful, beautiful place in nature. Maybe there are some trees, some mountains, some waterfalls. Just be there for a few minutes. As you sit in your place in nature, look around you and what do you see? What do you hear? What do you smell? How does the air feel as it touches your skin? Your safe and comfortable place. And just breathe. As you sit in your safe and comfortable place, your eyes lift and you start to see someone or something approaching you. There's absolutely nothing scary about this experience. This is your wise guide, your higher self. Welcome them in. And breathe. You don't need to think about it. Some of you will see them. Others of you will hear them. But most of you will feel their presence. And breathe. Now behind your wise guide, you're going to start to see your ancestors. These are deceased loved ones that some you've known, some you haven't known. Welcome them in. Just noticing if your mind is fighting you. It's quite normal. Your mind might think you're making it up, but you're not. And breathe. Some of you might feel a pressure change in the room. Your body might be getting goosebumps. Or there might just be a presence or a knowing that you're surrounded by love. And keep breathing. Now behind your ancestors, you have another realm. This is the Archangel realm. Archangel Michael, Raphael, could be Buddha, could be Muhammad, Sai Baba, Lord Krishna, whoever you grew up with or believe in, bring them in. Christ consciousness, there you go. And last, bring in the Divine Mother. She has many faces, and you don't need to figure out who or what she is. But oh yeah, there you go. A lot of you can feel how much she's stepping forward. She first wants to connect to you eye to eye. So let her eyes meet yours. Some of you may see her as Mother Mary or Kuan Yin. Don't think about it. Just there you go. There you go. Good. Bring in the presence of a mother energy. There you go. A mother energy of unconditional love. She sees the pure innocence and love in you. As she gets closer, settle into her presence And she wants me to give you a little hint. She actually sits in your heart all the time. Let's be present to that awareness. She has in front of her a silver platter. And on this platter, you're going to put every thought that says you're not enough. Maybe it's because of your weight, your bank account, your partnership, whatever, what you look like. Put it all there. These thoughts of guilt, it is time to give them up. And the willingness to give them up is the key. So as you look at her, simply say, I am willing to give this up. I want to choose peace instead of this thought. I'm willing to forgive this and see myself without this thought. And take a few breaths. Now, as she takes those thoughts from you, forgiveness is done instantly. They are gone. And she places a hand on your third eye and another on your heart. I'll let her do some energy work on you. Just keep breathing, please. Each of you are here to bring her into your life and your world. To heal your generations before you and heal yourself. And those after you. So stay here for about 5 or 6 breaths. Let her keep doing her work for a few more breaths. And when you're ready, start to return to the room very, very slowly. No rush at all. As you come back, you know what I'm going to ask you to do next. Let's just use the chat box and share how that was, if anything came up. What are you feeling? What are you noticing? What's coming up for you right now? Give you a few minutes. Just use the chat box, please. I noticed something. I noticed nothing. A little bit lighter. A little lighter. Yeah. I am worthy with a bunch of exclamation marks. I notice so much gratitude. Nice. Very powerful. Oh my gosh, heart does not have that hole in it anymore. Emotional and freeing. Lighter, knowing I am more than I give myself credit for. Yeah. There's a million little Divine Mother tricks I've got that I can teach you over time, but she is the answer to our pain. Relaxed and light. Yeah. I can give love. And we want to know, we have to remember, the holy instant right now is the key. Now, in 10 minutes, the ego could grab that thought back, and then we need to learn others. There you go, Deb. She said, you are powerful, and this is your purpose. Give you guys a second, I'm going to go back to my PowerPoints because I want to onto the right and left brain. So just stay where you are now as I take us back in. So as we learn to give that up, we want to start to realize pain is not a punishment, but it's a call for love. It's a call for love of your thought systems. So a lot of us suffer from pain because we think our partner's hurting us or yelling at us. I don't know why they want me to go on this tangent, but it's for somebody on the call. If every time, yeah, they want me to go here, no, I don't want to go here, but they're okay. So let's just say you notice that this is for somebody or more than one person to call. This is your partner or your kid or your dog, I don't care who this is, or your boss, and this is you. And you notice every time they come into the room, your body hurts. Okay, let's leave that person. Let's go out there. Well, fast forward 5 years, it'll be somebody else. Right? You guys are with me still? So we think that this person is causing the pain. Can any relate to that? Use the chat box before you keep going. Is this making sense to you guys' brains? I want to make sure. It's my mother, my father, my sister, my brother. Just say yes or no. Makes sense. Thanks, Carolyn. Okay, good. Yes, my mom. I'm with you, Andrea. Okay, go. So we have to understand the universe never makes a mistake. There's a vibrational match between this son, brother, mother, whatever, and you. This person is just triggering something in you that hasn't been healed. But what, I'm going to leave that alone, Andrea, for now. I'm going to leave questions alone for now, honey. What we tend to do is we go, it's this person's fault. It's this person's fault. Andrea, I'm going to tie your lips to guilt. She said, sorry, please don't apologize. We make it about this person. It's not about this person. It's about what is in us that is an energy matched to this. Is this making sense? Guys got me? I'll give you a funny example. Of course, I'm teaching a pain workshop. Had a bit of a busy morning. Not really that busy, but whatever. Went for a workout, came home, getting a shower. My 20-year-old son is in Japan right now. He comes home on Monday. Whatever, he's on trip with some friends. And he texted me last night, Mom, I need to change flights, whatever. But I had like so much time to get ready, so much time to, get prepped before I came here. And then, it's like, I need to do this, I need to do this. And I could feel my shoulder. And so this is my kid. This is me. I could feel my shoulder. What is my shoulder telling me? Traditional is boundary, go away. I'm not saying that's wrong, but it doesn't fix my shoulder. What was in my shoulder is that my job is to take care of him. My worthiness, can you relate to this? My worthiness is he's okay. That's what I have to heal. Got it? And he was just the trigger of it right before class today. So we want to honor these people because they're showing something in us that's deep in our unconscious. We want to throw this person across the room and screw them and marry somebody else. I've done that. But this person keeps repeating as your boss, as your kid, as your husband, got it? So going back to the slide, we want to understand deeply it's always about us because the law of one says, my son is me, my husband is me, my kid is me, my boss is me. Each of you are me. So pain is not a punishment. It's a call for love of a thought system I have. And the next thing I want you to get is energy can shift when perception shifts. Forgiveness is the ultimate healer. Rumi said, the wound is the place where the light enters you. Okay. So let's spend a few minutes. Use the chat box. What have you learned? This is a really, 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 really important part of class. What have you learned? Probably, actually, to be honest, the most important part. What have you learned so far? You can write nothing. I'm totally cool with that. What have you learned so far? I need help. You're so cute, Shannon. I love that. What else? We all do, sister. I'm with you. High five for you. And I'll talk about in a few minutes how we can take this conversation deeper. What else have you learned? Guilt is the worst fact. Great. I can use my people to heal myself. Bang on, Rosemary. Perception is key. Exactly. What else have you learned? It's not about them. That was for you, Adrian. I know. Forgiveness is a tool. Great. I need to pay more attention to what people are showing me. Bingo, Heather. But no matter how much work I've put in so far, I'm still a long ways out and need to continue and stop thinking when I find an answer. Bang on. I don't have to heal them. Yes, Rosemary. I love that one. I love all of these. We know where the pain is. We can ask spirit for help. Yes. Okay. I'm not sure if I can put it into words. Great. One thing coming up is anger towards a certain person is really a reflection of lack. Exactly, exactly. Forgiveness is a good place to start. Beautiful, Angie. See us all as one. Exactly. I need to pay attention more to my thoughts. That's all we got. That's all we got. I'm nothing but my thoughts. Okay, let me go back and finish this off. Guilt is a reason for pain. Great awareness area. That's exactly it. We lug it around like a 10-foot pole that we're just addicted to, right? And I would never say depending on what culture you come from, but I'm going to say that because my culture loves guilt. Indian Jewish people, we are screwed. My first husband is Jewish, which is why I get to say that, okay? We are screwed. I'm joking. Every Catholic guilt, I mean, it's everywhere, right? Everywhere. Okay, let me go back into the slides. Okay, you guys have learned a lot, which is amazing. Amazing, amazing. Okay, so what's next? Okay, so as I always do a what's next slide, there's two options I'm going to give you. And I want you to just feel into it. The first one's the class with the Divine Mother, which will be taking us much further. It's 12 weeks long. It starts on Wednesdays on September 10th. That's when you learn to work with the Divine Mother. You learn to work with your mind. You learn the power of forgiveness. With that class, you're going to learn our innate innocence. You will learn how to heal the mind and all those stories. Unfortunately, it's not just this quick thought of, okay, I'm innocent. It's about getting deeper into what is deeper and deeper and deeper. Got it? So it's 12 weeks long. It's an amazing class. It's an hour and a half each week. I just do 2 different time slots. You don't have to come to both. Just for time zones, 9 o'clock or 5 o'clock. You can come to both if you want. Okay, but that's the Divine Mother class. And she is the energy that will heal all of us because she is the energy of pure unconditional love. You need to really get that, okay? And so I'll make a sidebar. Some of you know that COVID represented the shift from the masculine to the feminine. She is the energy of unconditional love. And if we don't embrace her, we're going to be left to the wayside. That's a lot of what I teach is her. The other option is offer a group coaching class on health and relationship that starts September 16th, I think. It's on Tuesdays at 5 o'clock. I ask for a 3-month minimum. It's a small group of up to 10 people. This specific offer, if people take the group coaching, it actually includes the Divine Mother class because I love to spoil my clients, but I also love my clients to just keep getting the work deeper. And you learn to work with spirit intuition. You learn to identify your thoughts, and it's why I keep this a small group. Okay, it's an hour and a half long on Tuesdays at 5 o'clock, and there's only 2 spots left. So that's a super fun class. I have another class that's an entrepreneur class on Fridays at 10, but I didn't put that in here just because we're talking about pain. But I have another group as well if you're more interested in entrepreneurship. I'll leave that one alone. Okay. So before I keep going, what are you drawn to? Listen to what your body's drawn to and use the chat box. What are you drawn to? More the Divine Mother class? More the group coaching? Feel it and use the chat box. What are you drawn to? Group coaching, perfect. Divine Mother, great. And the group coaching, as I said, gets you the Divine Mother. So if you're joining group coaching, you get the Divine Mother. Listen to that pull. What else are you guys drawn to? Divine Mother, Divine Mother. Okay, cool. Yeah. The Divine Mother is a game changer. Yeah, the game changer. She is a game changer. I've actually already started to write the weeks out. It's going to be a doozy of a class. It's going to be really fun. Okay, so let's go through pricing. So investment. Divine Mother class is $849, or you can split up into payments of $299 for 3 months. And then group coaching is at $700 per month for 3 months. And the group coaching is definitely deeper, no question at all, because you have me in your face with intuition, working with you guys each week. So that one's definitely a deeper offer. So, all right, let's just pause here. Go into your body. Forget the offers. Forget all that for a second. Go into your body. Close your eyes. And see if there's any remaining questions. We've got about 9 or 10 minutes left. See if there's anything still percolating. I'll give you guys a few minutes to see if anything is coming up. And if not, we can do another meditation or we could wrap a few minutes early, but see if there's any questions coming up. That's where you're just going to throw your hand up, open to the chat box, see what's coming up. Okay, autoimmune disorders. So an autoimmune disorder is the mind, the body is fighting itself. So the mind has a thought system that you're fighting yourself. So some examples of thoughts. You're fat, you're an idiot, you're not doing it right, you're a waste of space, waste of time. What's wrong with you? When are you going to figure it out? And the bigger those thoughts are, they eventually have to go somewhere. Got it? So autoimmune is the body fighting itself. I'll give you guys a few minutes to see if there's any other questions that are coming up before I grab you, Sarah. What is it? So give me a few minutes. Heather, a good reminder to return to morning pages. Yeah, great one, Rosemary. Thoughts that cause polycystic. Is that you, Heather? So, guys, one day I will do a class strictly on women issues. As you can tell, I'm a busy little gal right now, but there's been a lot of people have asked me, anyone struggling with menopause, period pain, any of that crap? Got some of that stuff in the class. I just want to know, anyone got that? Menopause. Okay, thanks. Okay, got some hands up. Okay, I'll do polycystic and endometriosis because there's a few questions. Give me a second. I want to read some of these questions. Now 45. Thank you, Andrea. What about differentiating between real physical pain in the mind, like someone physically hurts themselves? That is physical, not the mind. Everything that's physical is the mind. The body isn't real. Postmenopausal anger. Yeah. Okay. So you know what? We are going to do a class just on women's issues. I just haven't gotten around to doing it. But I know it's a really hot topic. The postmenopause. So let me address, I'm bouncing all over the place. Let me address polycystic, endometriosis, and maybe postmenopausal anger, because I think they're all great. I've got 5 minutes. I can do this. Maybe reflex too. Okay, cool. Let's do these. So let's do the postmenopause first, they're saying. Because it'll lump in, a bunch of you guys said lump in endometriosis and all that kind of stuff. Okay, I'll do my best here. So what we want to understand as a woman, because we're women, right? A lot of us are women. We are a bunch, okay, how many of us, say yes or no in the chat box, how many of us were or are trained not to feel emotions growing up as women? We have to squash them. We have to put them away. We can't express anger. Thank you, Rosemary. Yeah, okay, good. Okay. So take a wild guess. Take a wild guess. What is the dominant emotion in a woman above the age of 40 or 50 on the planet? What is the dominant emotion? Anger? Let's go deeper. It's powerlessness. Okay. So powerlessness is one of the dominant emotions that a lot of women feel. Is that tracking? Do I still have you guys? Okay. Now, if you are 20, 30, 40 years old, and Rosemary, I know you asked me about menopause anger. If you've been, use the chat box. Why are we not allowed to express our anger? Heather, you said it. Like, why are we not allowed to express our anger? It's not feminine. Okay. Been told it's bad. Okay, good. So this is going to be a really deep dive, and I understand if you have to go. I'm going to try to make this short. And Sarah, I might not be able to grab your question because I really want to address this female stuff. Okay. So what you want to get, and we'll be definitely addressing this in the group coaching and the Divine Mother class. Stay with me. I hope you guys get this. Powerlessness is here. Powerlessness, depression, anxiety are all down here. Okay. Rage and anger are here. Stay with me. Joy and love are here. So we have to move through every reason we don't let ourselves feel angry, Rosemary. Okay. So we just have to find healthy ways to express anger, which I think my guys are telling me you're good at, Rosemary. Like, have healthy ways to express anger. Hit a pillow, yell, scream. But what do you do after that? I've yelled until I'm green in the face, right, Rachel? I'm tired of yelling. What the fuck? Sorry for swearing. What do I do now? Close your eyes with this statement. The only reason I'm angry is because I simply forgot I was the consciousness of the God self. Say that again. The only reason I'm frustrated or angry is because I forgot that I was the divine consciousness of the God self. There you go. Good. Take that in. And my job is to forgive that. There we go. Is that tracking? You go and open your eyes. Is that tracking? To say yes or no. Is that that's a really deep concept. But that's how we move from anger up to God's self. Because remember I said, just say yes or no if that was tracking. Just so I know before I teach you guys one more thing. Tracking? Thanks, Ella. Okay, good. So remember I said, Oh, good. That's so good, Rosemary. You're reaching joy. Great. So remember I said, I come from a crater and then I come into the body. I'll come back and say it again, Iris. I come from the crater, I come into the body, and the emotion is guilt, right? We said that, right? You guys got that? Anytime I feel guilt, I'm going to feel anger. Got it? So how we get out of anger up to spirit, we'll repeat this for a few of you guys who asked me the question. And I always say it with my eyes closed. The only reason I'm frustrated or angry is simply because I forgot that my true essence is the God self. My true essence is love. My true essence is the badass that I know that the divine I am is. And that gap is another layer of forgiveness. It's a very deep concept. It took me years to understand that concept. But for you, I had to like sort of say, okay, this is Divi, and then this is my God self. I had to like visualize it that way. And actually, the only reason I'm angry is because I forgot that this is who I am, where no one can touch me or hurt me at all. And it's a very deep concept. It's like I just threw you into the deepest ocean I could. But that's how we move anger. And that was for somebody who asked about postmenopausal anger. So when I do a class on female issues, we will address all of these. But really briefly, so I would need to do that one first because my guides told me to. But I know a few of you asked me about PCOS and endometriosis. We're going to go from that. So polycystic is typically frustration, fear, anger that are forming those cysts. And endometriosis is exactly the same thing. And what the Divine Mother wants me to say is, for so many women, we have suppressed our power and our wisdom and our divine truth. And most of us know that the womb has innate wisdom to it. And they just keep saying, for most of us on this call who are alive, we have 7 to 10 generations of women before us that were taught that they didn't matter. And that little thought somewhere in the unconscious, whenever I have it, it goes right into that beautiful area of my womb. I want to check, is that tracking to your mind? Is that making any sense, Heather? Because I know you asked me that question. We'll do it on Monday too. We're going to drive into that. Great, our that lands. Okay. And that's why it's pretty deep work. And that's why the only person we can work with is the Divine Mother. I'll try to make a really brief story. I think there might have been another question. So yesterday I saw this woman who is of the same culture I am. And she left her husband. She was a child bride. She was 17 when she had an arranged marriage to this man. It's not about the man. Don't hear it that way. Had to leave India, come here, whatever. Fast forward, she's in her 50s now, and she left him about 2 years ago, and she doesn't know why. She just got up one day and said, marriage is done. He didn't abuse her. He didn't hurt her. None of that. He just ignored her. And so we had a long session yesterday. And the deep unconscious that says she didn't matter is what ran that marriage. And that's what she's healing. But she can only heal it with the mother who doesn't believe those stories. And anger is a phase of the journey, but it's not the final destination. We let the Divine Mother in, we no longer will deal with this stuff. Is that making sense to your guys' brains who asked about endometriosis? Cool. Okay. The last one was, I think, from Andrea asked me about reflux. So reflux, if anyone has reflux, I think she said that. Give me 1 second. Reflux is a really, really, really common condition. So acid reflux is when the acid from the stomach goes up into the esophagus. Probably the first or second highest number of medications goes to that illness in North America. So let me stand on my chair so you guys can see this. Let's see if I can do this without falling. Okay, yeah, here we go. Okay, so here's my heart. Okay, here's where acid reflux comes. I'm trying to show you my underwear. Sacral chakra here and grounding chakra is here. Okay, so reflux is here. Okay, so heart is up here. Are you with me? Okay, good. So what you want to understand is the physiology of the body, not metaphysics of the body. In North America, we've been taught to live from the heart down. Heart down, survival, first, second chakra. Third chakra, is my empowerment. If I can get up above the third chakra, not on a mind level, but an empowerment level, and to be living from love and joy. So reflux is fear of my power, fear of my empowerment. Because if you guys are all getting that. And that's what causes reflux. And then that doesn't let me go into my heart because it's a form of defense. Okay, Adrian's way too pretty. She's way too smart. It's a form of defense. So it's like, no, that's not true. When I go into my heart, Deborah is me and I am Deborah. Got it? So reflex is living from the third chakra down. And just so you know, a lot of spiritual teachers say, off topic, spiritual teachers say that this, if you guys have heard of 3D, 4D, 5D, don't worry if you haven't. But this time on the planet is us lifting above 3D, going into the heart. Does that make sense? All right, let's do a final meditation. Let's close our eyes. By the way, I want to thank you guys before I keep going. You guys are amazing. All right, so close your eyes. Take a few breaths. Just get still in your body and still in your mind. Imagine that as a group, we are holding hands. In a circle out on some grass somewhere. From my right hand goes into your left hand love. And that love moves all around the circle. Coming back into your left hand to explode love into your body. Just let that occur for a few minutes. And before you open your eyes, I want you yourself to take a moment to thank yourself. It's a really, really big deal to show up to a class live. It's even a bigger deal to be authentic, listen, and hear and be present. So honor yourself with love, of love, and for love. Take a few breaths. Even though you may not know the group of people that are here, honor their souls because they are your sisters and brothers. We are a soul family that find each other when we do this work. Honor them in your mind for a few minutes. Beautiful. Take the Divine Mother in and let her lead you through the day. After a few breaths, when you're ready, go to open your eyes. All right, before you wrap, I want to say thank you. You guys rocked it. Thank you so, so much. I will send you guys this recording. Thank you, Rosemary.
Thank you, Debbie.
And I'll send the recording and you're welcome, Andrea. And I'll send you the links if you want to register for one of those classes. And I'm sending you so much love. I'm so excited to work with all of you. Honestly,
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome, guys.
Have an amazing day, everyone. Thanks for being here.
Bye.
Lots of love, guys. Have a great day. Enjoy. You're welcome, Adrian. Have a great day, guys.